Welcome to Global Economic Press, where we deliver trusted global finance and economic news, analysis, and reports, empowering leaders and investors with reliable, timely insights. I'm your host, Alex Brady. In today's episode, we delve into a pressing issue facing security teams worldwide, the challenge of automating remediation in data security. A new research report from Telescope reveals why many security teams are hesitant to trust the tools they have, and how this impacts their ability to manage risks effectively. Stay tuned as we explore the findings and implications of this report. Telescope, the industry-first agentic data security platform that resolves data exposure instead of just flagging it, today released the Alert to Remediation Gap, an original research report based on a survey of chief information security officers and senior security leaders. The report finds that security teams are not struggling to detect risk. They are struggling to decide what to do about it, and that decision gap is getting wider as artificial intelligence adoption accelerates. Security teams say the risk they're least prepared for is also the one growing fastest, and most are still resolving it by hand. 70% of respondents name artificial intelligence data exposure or sensitive data sprawl as the biggest risk to their organization over the next year, ahead of identity, cloud security, regulatory compliance, and third-party risk combined. Half describe their remediation process as mostly or fully manual, even though the same organizations run mature security stacks. Those tools were built to detect and monitor. None of them, the survey finds, were built to close the loop between finding a risk and fixing it. The report also models what that gap means in practice. The average team reviews 195 alerts a day. Even if a conservative 5% of those turn out to be critical, that is already about 10 alerts. At the survey's typical handling time, just those add up to a full workday for a lean 3-person team before the high and medium queue is even opened. The survey traces the growing alert to remediation gap to two forces: how many alerts teams face and how slowly each one gets triaged and resolved once it does. Critical incidents often take hours to resolve, not minutes. 63% of critical and high-priority issues are triaged and remediated in under 4 hours, with the vast majority taking over an hour. That sounds fast, until you remember what created the exposure in the first place. A prompt pasted into an artificial intelligence assistant, a file copied into a new software as a service tool, both instant. With the speed that artificial intelligence is now generating data risk, teams simply cannot keep up. And that time commitment is just to cover the flagship incident, the one getting immediate attention. 43% of teams still carry more than 5% of high-priority alerts unresolved a full week after they were flagged. The survey doesn't say how many stay that way after that. Nobody can say for certain whether a bigger risk is sitting in that backlog, still waiting to be found. Detection was never the hard part. The research points to the conclusion Telescope has built its platform around. Visibility alone does not reduce risk. 90% of surveyed organizations already run a security information and event management system. 83% run identity and access management in endpoint detection and response like extended detection and response. 67% run a dedicated data loss prevention tool. Those tools answer something happened, here it is. None of them answer what the data is, who owns it, or whether the organization trusts an automatic response enough to let it run, which the report identifies as exactly where the process breaks down. Telescope customers already operate on the other side of that gap. Here's how one describes it. As a customer, we've seen Telescope cut through alert fatigue and actually fix issues, auto-detecting sensitive data, adding the right context, and triggering smart remediation across different stacks. This is what modern data security should feel like, said Zain Ahmed, staff data security and privacy analyst at Kareem. Key Facts Report: the Alert to Remediation Gap, original research fielded via Winter, June 26 to July 2, 2026. Sample: 30 security decision makers holding Chief Information Security Officer, Vice President, Security, Director, Head of Security, or Security Manager titles, across software as a service/software, information technology services, financial technology, and professional services. None of the respondents are current Telescope customers. Independent research. Findings describe industry-wide practices among 30 surveyed organizations, not Telescope's own customer base. 70% rank artificial intelligence data exposure or sensitive data sprawl as their number one operational risk for the next 12 months. 50% describe remediation today as mostly or fully manual. 70% agree alert fatigue significantly limits their team's ability to respond, average 5.0 out of 7. 0% report a fully automated remediation workflow. 77% describe basic workflow automation or artificial intelligence-assisted recommendations as that still require a person to act. Roughly 1 in 3 leaders name ownership, missing context, or a lack of trust in automation, not detection speed or a missing feature, as the single remediation challenge they would eliminate overnight. Availability. The alert to remediation gap is available today for security leaders who want the full data set, methodology, in findings. To download, visit www.telescope.ai campaign, the alert to remediation gap report. 2. Every tool in this space can tell you where your sensitive data sits. Half the leaders in this report are still deciding what to do about it by hand, said Elizabeth Lizzie Namor, founder and chief executive officer of Telescope. That's the exact gap I lived at Airbnb, and it's the reason Telescope exists. Telescope will share a separate look next week at what this same automation curve looks like inside its own customer base. Telescope platform, reference platform, capabilities. So continuous discovery and classification across cloud, software as a service, on-premises, and artificial intelligence environments. Context-aware classification engine built on a hierarchical multi-head architecture. Prism document intelligence classifies full documents by type and intent rather than field-level scanning. Data reasoning layer, understand, decide, enforce. Native automated remediation, inform, redact, quarantine, revoke, access, relocate, encrypt, delete. Policy builder and policy ingestion converts existing governance documents into enforceable workflows. Cosmo, natural language querying, triage, and workflow builder. Real-time data security across Slack, OpenAI, and Claude audit-grade logging with full event traceability. Reversible actions with rollback to prior state industries. Served. Financial services, financial technology, professional services, advisory, healthcare, technology, hospitality, manufacturing, media, food and beverage, retail. Deployment options. Single-tenant software as a service. Telescope managed in customer's cloud environment. Bring your own cloud. Air gap deployment, compliance and regulatory frameworks. Supported General Data Protection, Regulation, California Consumer Privacy Act, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, India, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, Payment Card, Industry Data, Security Standard, System and Organization Controls 2, International Organization for Standardization, 27001, European Union Artificial Intelligence Act, International Organization for Standardization, 42001. Additional resources, Telescope website. The Alert to Remediation Gap Report, Telescope on LinkedIn.